I have never been a hunter main in Identity 5. Well, I tried to switch once, which happened after that one Michiko slugged me to death in Duo Hunters. That match left me with some miserable feelings and a strong desire for revenge. Turned out, however, that after I switched into a Mary main, I got bullied by the survivors for whatever reason that God only knows. Still, being a survivor main for 6 years has taught me so much about the hunters themselves, and there are some things I learned from matching against them. Today, in this video, I kinda want to talk about the things I often notice when facing every hunter in the game. Again, I tell all of them from my point of view as a survivor main, not as a hunter main. Think of it as me stereotyping every hunter in the game. And if that does not suit you, well, I am sorry for it. A bit of an intermezzo before we dive in. Have you ever found it so hard to buy your favorite skins in the game? Like they're just way too expensive and all. Well, that wouldn't be the case if you use Loot Bar, a platform where you can get echoes and whatever skins you need in the game at a much cheaper price than usual, like 15% off from the regular price. With over 40,000 trusted reviews on Trustpilot, Loot Bar provides a secure, fast, and reliable way for you to recharge your echoes at a discounted price. And it is quite easy to use too. Just click the link on the description, log into your account, pick the package you want, enter your UID in game server, process the payment, and you are all set. Less hassle, more savings. So remember, if you want a cheaper way to top up your echoes or buy your favorite skins, go to Loot Bar. Link is in the video description. Playing against Hell Ember, you will find that some of them are really good at multitasking. So good that you will wonder if they do that naturally in real life. Most Hell Ember mains, I suppose, are phone operators who need to receive multiple calls at once and somehow manage to do that perfectly. From my experience, Hell Ember mains are such good campers. They are able to teleport here and there using their dolls, which makes rescuing quite difficult and risky. Sometimes I even get jump scared whenever I am decoding peacefully, minding my own business like how a taxpayer does. And when I play against Hell Ember, there will always be one survivor whose only job is to remove the doll until the game ends. They do nothing but dismantle the doll so that the Hell Ember cannot use his ability. Usually, the one doing the dismantling is a strong kiter like Ganji or Norton. Emily sometimes does that too, but somehow she does it horribly. I don't know how, but she just does. I've said this many times before. Smiley Face is a newbie-friendly hunter. That term alone has two meanings. First, the mechanics of Smiley Face are fairly easy for a newbie to operate. You pick up rockets, dash here and there, and whenever you catch a survivor in the open, it usually ends up bad for them. The second meaning, however, is that this hunter can be quite clumsy sometimes. When a newbie plays as him and begins to get bullied by William or Norton, he would become friendly after 2 ciphers have been done. You know, it is like his own way of saying, I'm done with this match. The question now, though, is whether I have yet to meet a scary Smiley Face or not. Well, of course I have, duh! The scary Smiley Face can use blink and rocket dash so precisely. Also, they chase like someone on a motorcycle trying to catch that one pitiful little girl eating candy. Sometimes I even think that they move so fast it is comparable to Leon S. Kennedy riding a motorbike in Resident Evil 9.
Bruh.
My experience playing against Jack is kinda bittersweet. Sometimes, playing against him feels like a blessing, because more often than not, his fog blade is missing its target, just like Ganji mains who often miss the ball. And even though some Jack mains are really good snipers, I can't help but giggle at times whenever that one Jack tries to hit me from a distance, only for me to turn left or right to avoid that fog blade. Whenever I do so, I feel like that main character from the Matrix movie. What makes Jack scary to me, however, is his cloaking ability. I can sense the heartbeat whenever Jack is around, but his presence is hard to detect once his ability is active and he is actively chasing me. I can't be so sure if I should vault any window or pallet whenever I get chased by that one Jack with cloaking, and more often than not, I get terror shocked whenever I try to do so. Similar to Jack, but with a more precise and faster hooking ability, Gamekeeper is a fun yet scary hunter for me to kite. His hooking ability makes me need to brake left and right whenever I am being chased, but unlike Jack, who is fairly easy to dodge, Gamekeeper's hook is more frustrating to dodge. It is fast, and thus can hit me in the most precise moment. Some people find it rather easy to dodge Gamekeeper's hook, or avoid being hit after getting hooked by using the flywheel effect. Me, however, as someone who never brought flywheel effect, often become lunch for him. The most misleading hunter in the Identity V universe. I initially thought Violetta to be an ugly hunter, similar to that one spider in the Lord of the Rings movie. Turned out Violetta has a sad backstory, and more recently it turned out that she is quite beautiful. So many people would simp over her. I even found out that the simping went too far. During one match, there was someone who let themselves get caught by Violetta and be put in the basement. Putting that aside, however, I found out that Violetta is a rather tricky hunter to go up against. She can move so fast thanks to that webbing ability, and it is quite annoying to kite her whenever I get hit by that webbing of hers. Not to mention, instead of putting the survivor on a chair, she can just wrap a helpless survivor with her bandage, thus letting them die miserably. What can I say about Michiko? Well, she is pretty, she can dash using her butterfly, and most importantly, she eats pallets. A lot. There are memes everywhere mentioning that Michiko is the hunter that gets pallet stunned the most. While I am sure there is no scientific study on that, I believe that meme does not happen without a reason. Even in my case, whenever I meet Michiko, there will likely be one survivor who gets the Terrain Master achievement. As for the reason why she gets so many pallet stuns, I couldn't really say why. It just happens, I guess? But to be honest, there are also some Michiko who chase their prey like a madman. In my experience, Michiko with Teleport and Blink are the worst to go up against. Those Michiko mains who bring another skill set like Peeper are rather easy to kite. It is so hard to go up against a Feaster, especially when you need to rescue against him. Feaster is a good camper, and most of the Feaster mains I met use this strategy to win the map. They chase the weakest survivor, put them on the chair, and guard that one person fiercely, baiting the other survivors to clumsily attempt a miserable rescue and get a double down almost instantly. That way alone, he would get a tie, and sometimes it does not even feel like he had to try that hard. And not just that, Haster, in the hands of someone who has good game sense, is pretty scary. I have met both Clueless Haster and Terrifying Haster. The Clueless Haster is easy to predict, and their tentacles are easy to dodge. A scary Haster, however, will guide you into a tight kiting area before using his tentacles in an even tighter space, effectively trapping the survivor with no way out. Wu Chang is the counterpart of Michiko in terms of eating pallets. He eats pallets just as much as Michiko, if not more. I do not know why either, to be honest. Perhaps it is because his movement is easy to predict, or perhaps the pallets just really hate him? In terms of skill set, Wu Chang has quite a lot of them. He can teleport, he can disable the survivor, he can confuse the survivor, all in one, just like that 1 3-in-1 coffee advertised on TV. But just like the 3-in-1 coffee, which is rarely a proper coffee, Wu Chang's all-in-one skill set is often not really effective, especially against seasoned survivors. His teleporting ability is predictable if you have good game sense, and his ability to confuse the survivor can actually be countered if the survivor understands the map well enough. So yes, it looks impressive on paper, but in reality, it is a bit of a different story. And in my case, whenever a Wu Chang chases a survivor in a tight area near a pallet, he often becomes a pallet eater. Hated by Ada Mesmer, loved by Emily, that is Joseph for you. He's a good hunter to be used in lower tier, assuming those survivors playing there are not secretly legendary players on another account, which, by the way, happens more often than it should. Newbies often struggle against Joseph because decoding feels like waiting for a jump scare with him around. However, put him in higher tier, and suddenly he becomes a hunter that struggles against survivors. Not to undermine those Joseph mains who are quite good at him, but in my experience, Joseph can feel quite clumsy in higher tier matches. They hide in the mirror world, try to jump scare someone, but that someone has already left, fully aware of what is about to happen. Sometimes, the survivor will simply roam around in the mirror world to avoid him, like it is a casual sightseeing trip. There are even occasions when I was playing Helena and managed to escape the match completely unnoticed, which honestly says a lot. Emily mains, of course, love this hunter because they can heal again and again, making the 75% damage from Joseph feel significantly less threatening. I actually hate Mad Eye's not because of his gameplay. Mad Eye's mains are scary and can effectively isolate one survivor, making them unable to move, help others, or do anything useful. Instead, I hate Mad Eye's because he gives me the temptation to abandon the whole purpose of the match. You see, the purpose of a survivor in a match is to escape by decoding 5 ciphers and opening the exit gate. To do so, they need to avoid getting caught by the hunters who relentlessly chase them. Mad Eye's, however, tempts me, and I bet some other cheeky survivors as well. It's to bully him instead, thus completely abandoning the escape plan like it never existed in the first place. Mad Eye's skill requires him to use a gadget and check several locations remotely. While doing so, he's vulnerable to any kind of shenanigans pulled by survivors, like flashing him, stunning him, or simply throwing emotes at him. And this is exactly what I usually do. Whenever the hunter is Mad Eye's, I abandon the match just to emote near him, or throw memory pages at him, interrupting his ability, like a menace. This works so well at times that I can casually emote or even take screenshots with him nearby, effectively turning both of us into the clowns of the match. First thing first, playing as a Dream Witch feels like multitasking. You control the main body, deploy a follower, then another follower, then another, and another. You play as several characters at once that you, at some point, would question yourself. Wait, which one follower is following that little brat? Anyway, I liked Dream Witch better way back when she was undetected. Nowadays, playing against Dream Witch just does not feel as scary as before. Back then, whenever the hunter was Dream Witch, you could not help but feel constantly on edge because she could be anywhere at any moment. Now, since her main body can be detected early on, we can simply avoid open areas and move to strong kiting zones. Dream Witch does not really have any special ability except her curse mark, which is quite dangerous when left unattended. Remove any curse marks, limit the number of followers she has, and it can actually become a fun experience. Well, fun until everything suddenly goes wrong, as usual. Axe Boy's ranged attack is quite annoying to face. It can lead to a quick knockout if you do not really know what you are doing, which, unfortunately, is usually the case for me. When kiting against an Axe Boy with this ability, I sometimes get hit twice in an instant, leaving the rest of the team sending me that one very judgmental yo-yo message. His Peaceful Pine ability is quite annoying too. With that alone, he can chase survivors very quickly. Not to mention that the Peaceful Pine traps survivors within its range, and leaving that area also slows me down, sometimes resulting in a terror shock. Overall, I would say that Robbie, the Axe Boy, is a very formidable hunter to go up against. Evil Reptilian is a good choice if you want a strong chaser-type hunter. He jumps around the map until he finds his target, hits survivors here and there, and slams the ground with an area of effect attack that can down multiple targets at once. Playing against him requires sharp awareness because you need to bait his slam into hitting absolutely nothing except his own pride. Although, I do wonder if he feels pain after doing that move because it certainly looks like it should hurt. For me, this T-Rex is moderately hard to deal with. Sometimes, I cannot predict when or where he will perform his slam, and I end up getting knocked out just like that. Rescuing against him also feels more difficult because of that same ability. To be honest, it feels like walking into a trap and hoping it does not activate. It usually does, though. Used quite often in tournaments, I sometimes wonder if Bloody Queen mains have a built-in radar somewhere on the map. Performing her mirror image ability requires strong map control, and somehow every Bloody Queen main seems to have that mastered like it is natural for them. Back then, when I was a rank addict, I could kite a Bloody Queen for 4 ciphers, especially when I was playing Helena, being chased first and all. Now, however, it feels much harder to go up against her, especially if the player has excellent map awareness. The only time I can somewhat handle her is when she is a bot, and even then, I sometimes still end up getting knocked down first. Oh, how I miss being that confident survivor. Bonbon might be a strong contender for the best camper in the game. He places bombs everywhere to guard the poor survivor on the chair, leaving the rescuer completely devastated because they cannot go in without risking everything, be it their arms, legs, or even their phone if things go wrong. Even Mercenary would have a hard time rescuing against Bonbon. One of the safest ways to do it is by using disablers like Patricia, Ganji, or Chi-Shi, or by using Alice and her mini Orpheus to assist in the rescue. Other than that, well, good luck rescuing against him. This hunter with a very long neck is tricky to go up against. Her main ability is disabling survivors using her cat, and what a terrifyingly efficient cat she has. She can deploy the cat, scout for survivors, and once the cat attaches to someone, it is usually only a matter of time before they get hit. One way to avoid this is to keep your distance from her, which is not something every survivor can easily do. Maybe William or Lily has no trouble with that, but for someone like Emily or Vera, that becomes a serious problem very quickly. I like Violinist, and that is coming from a survivor main. His ability is definitely annoying, but he gives me the thrill of being chased while needing to constantly predict where I should run and where his ability will appear. Playing against him feels like a dogfight. You keep your eyes on him at all times, trying to avoid his long-range violin attacks. Rescuing against him feels tense as well, but not as desperate as going against Hoster or Bonbon, which is already a blessing, don't you think? In a way, he might be the most balanced hunter for me. He is not too hard, but I also cannot say that he is an easy opponent either. Same with Violinist. I like Galatea because of the tension and thrill of getting chased while still having the chance to dodge her. Playing against her feels like another dogfight, but the good news here is that you know the hit will eventually come from the front, left, right, or rear, and nowhere else. So when kiting against her, you just dodge left, dodge right, run, panic a little, and repeat the process. Galatea is a hunter who deals chip damage, meaning she can damage a survivor for half of what a normal hit would do. This makes Perfumer, which is one of my mains, much less effective against her. However, I also main that little brat who can deal with her quite well at certain moments. Aside from that, I kinda like teasing her by emoting when she summons her remote statue ability to disrupt decoding progress. It is fun, really, as long as you do not get hit by that moving statue and immediately regret doing that. The Forgotten Hunter. Undead is a hunter that every Emma main would dislike. I mean, one of Emma's abilities is dismantling rocket chairs, and yet this hunter does not even need one to eliminate a survivor. All he needs to do is slug the survivor until they are gone. That's it! I don't know why, but I always get scared when going against Undead. He can dash quite fast, and whenever I get rescued by my teammates, he catches up in no time, like he has unfinished business with me specifically. Hitting a survivor with that dash, however, is questionable. Sometimes they hit perfectly. Other times, the survivor is literally standing right in front of them, waiting for their fate, and this hunter just dashes and completely misses. One thing I can say for sure about this hunter is that he is very fun to go up against. Whenever he's in wheel form, he can chase survivors very quickly. The catch, however, is that he is quite hard to control, especially for newer players. One of the hardest parts is turning. It is so difficult to turn properly in wheel form that survivors can simply move left and right to avoid him like they are dodging traffic. Also, whenever he is in wheel form, vaulting a window can be surprisingly effective in countering him, which makes playing against him feel a bit like a game of timing and luck. Overall, it is quite fun. In my case, it is rare for me to meet a truly good breaking wheel, but that does not mean they do not exist. I once met one who could utilize traps and spikes very effectively, and they were absolutely terrifying. That was the moment I realized this hunter can go from clown to nightmare real quick. When I first met this hunter, I struggled so much with her puddles that I could do nothing but ban her every single time in rank. I mean, Naiad, listen, I know you are from the lake, but do you really have to make everything wet? Putting that aside, Naiad is a very scary hunter if you are using a survivor who cannot counter her. Her ability revolves around those puddles, so if you cannot move past them properly, you are going to have a hard time. That's exactly what happens when I play Ada, Vera, or Emily. They cannot make a grand escape, and they end up getting trapped in the puddles way too easily. When I use the little brat, however, I can escape using memory pages, and it works. Well, sometimes it works. Other times, It also works, horribly. So it is still consistent, just not in the way I want. Wax artist. Honestly, I don't really know what to say about him. I mean, he is a good hunter. He can disable survivors using wax, but I'm not sure if I should be scared of him or just treat him as another fun hunter to face. His ability involves shooting wax, using cannon wax, and, apparently, emotionally attacking survivors with stickers. Like, seriously, out of 10 wax artists I have met, at least 7 of them will place a sticker after I go down. It's not even part of the skill set, it's just personal at that point. Usually, however, this hunter gets his own karma right after. For example, he might get hit by a tram right after using his cannon, or get pallet stunned immediately after waxing someone. Out of every hunter I have met, I can confidently say that Nightmare is the saltiest one. Like, seriously? He has that uncanny ability to teleport constantly. He basically has 2 free blinks at any moment, and yet many of his mains still complain about survivors being overpowered. Like, what are you talking about? Even Burke mains are probably laughing somewhere after reading that in English Channel 1. Some of the Nightmare players I meet in rank will definitely say something in post-match chat, whether it is a passive-aggressive congratulations or something much less friendly. At that point, it starts to make sense why this hunter has an emote that looks like he is raising his middle finger. Clerk, the hunter who relies on reversing decoding progress. If you ever play a Sui match, do not play against Clerk. Just do not. Otherwise, that Clerk can drag the match into what feels like 1 hour straight by constantly reversing decoding progress while also refusing to slug you or put you on a rocket chair. You're forced to decode a cipher machine that keeps getting reversed over and over again until you either lose your mind or surrender. If you can surrender, that is. Aside from that, Clerk is actually a fun hunter to go up against. Her ability to invisibly block pallets and windows is what makes your heart race during a chase. It's all fun though, as long as you do not take it personally. Anyone who has met Hermit as their opponent must be very aware that teamwork is the key to defeating this hunter, whose hobby is basically acting like Pikachu from the Pokemon series. He zaps here and there, electrocutes survivors with positive and negative polarity, and relies on poor coordination among survivors to win the game easily. That's why good teamwork and coordination are essential to win against him. The bad news, however, is that you already know how teamwork works in Identity 5. I mean, the fact that Hermit is still a favorite hunter for many players just shows the current state of coordination between teammates in this game, which is terrible. This hunter might be the second saltiest hunter in the game after Nightmare. I often see Nightwatch mains complaining about survivors being too overpowered, yet they themselves have a very strong skill set. They can drag survivors toward them, chase quickly, and when combined with Blink, they can down survivors with ease. So I am not really sure what else they want from us at this point. Maybe a free win or a crappy teammate, because they already have both, not gonna lie. Anyway, Nightwatch is scary for me, especially since I have the very bad habit of dancing in front of the exit gate. He can simply pull me out of the gate, and in that case, I fully deserve it. His chasing ability is somewhat similar to Percy, but with more variety. Whenever I meet one, it is a fun chase if I use the little girl, but it becomes a complete nightmare when I play as Evelyn. The difference feels personal at this point. When this hunter was first released, she was so overpowered that almost everyone in rank immediately banned her. I remember one match where everyone banned her. Well, almost everyone, because there was that one teammate who decided to ban Wu Chang instead. And in the end, it was Wu Chang who got banned. That's the kind of teamwork I'm talking about previously. Now, however, after learning how to counter her by using pallets properly, she is not as scary anymore. Maybe it is because she has been nerfed multiple times, or maybe I have just lost so many matches that I have become emotionally numb. Well, either way, progress is progress. Often found in duo hunters, Fool's Gold is actually quite fun to kite, especially when I play as the little girl. He can chase me well, but I can counter that by using memory pages at the right moment. He can block pallets or windows, but again, the little brat gives me just enough space to escape his tricks. Honestly, Fool's Gold with Blink or Peeper does not scare me. It's Fool's Gold with excitement that terrifies me. I can rely on memory pages to survive, but if that gets countered by excitement, then it is over for me. Like, completely over. Ivy Lawson is a very scary hunter for me because she is incredibly unpredictable. Her gameplay involves controlling both a main body and a spherical body, and I can never tell which one she is controlling at any given moment. This makes rescuing extremely stressful. When I see the main body nearby, I start questioning everything. Should I rescue? Should I not? Or should I just uninstall the game and play Pokemon Go instead? All of these thoughts appear in my mind at once, and when I finally decide to go for the rescue, it usually ends badly. Well, maybe the uninstall option was the correct one all along. It's quite rare for me to meet Goatman, but when I do, it is always a terrifying one who traps me inside his arena with no way out. Meanwhile, I see other players out there having a full battle of wits inside the arena, and I am just watching from the distance, wondering how they are doing that. The last time I tried to survive inside his arena, I got hit and sent straight back to the manor. It's an immediate failure. But again, since I rarely meet Goatman, I cannot really give a full evaluation. Hopefully I get to face him again, although I might regret saying that later. The scariest hunter ever in 2026. Top banned in my rank matches. I hate Hullabaloo simply because he does not have attack recovery. Hitting a survivor with 3 balls and then smacking them like bugs is just... no. I would rather leave immediately. Getting away from him, however, is easier said than done. Aside from being a chip damage dealer, he is also a strong chaser. He can even jump between levels, something I usually rely on when playing Vera or Evelyn. With him around, that trick becomes completely useless. All in all, he is so terrifying that even in duo hunters, I genuinely hope I never meet him. Ever. This hunter is, how do I put it, tricky to kite, but also fun to kite at the same time. I rarely meet Peddler, but whenever I do, it is usually an enjoyable experience. From what I have experienced, Perfumer becomes a very strong choice against her. With good timing, you can actually avoid getting hit even after being tied up by her vines. Peddler can also create holes in walls, which can be quite annoying on maps like Sacred Heart Hospital or Red Church. However, in my experience, that is rarely a major threat, especially if you are using a harasser like Patricia or Ganji. Another hunter I find quite fun to go up against is the Qist. At first, I thought he would be very scary, but it turns out his movements are quite predictable. Even though skilled Qist players have many tricks, a lot of the ones I meet seem a bit lost. Kiting him becomes surprisingly enjoyable because I can often predict his movements, even when he uses his ball and line abilities, which can be quite annoying when timed correctly. He has the ability to turn into a billiard ball and pull survivors toward him, but after that, it becomes a battle of skill. From what I have seen, Flywheel works quite well against him. Most importantly, as long as you can see the ball and the line, you can usually predict what he is about to do. Out of all the hunters, Queen Bee is probably the rarest one I have encountered. I cannot say much about her since I barely face her, but from my limited experience, I think her abilities revolve around controlling bees. Back then, I could avoid her attacks by using perfume with good timing, but again, that is based on very few matches. Hopefully I get to face her more in the future so I can understand her better. For now though, she is actually quite fun to go up against. And, of course, Melly mains sometimes simp for her because, well, she is Melly after all. Well guys, that's all my thoughts and my stereotypes about all the hunters in the game. Again, this is all based on my own perspective, so if there are things that do not match your preferences, then congratulations! You have passed my judgment! Please do share your own thoughts about these hunters as well. Thanks for watching, and see you later!